Hello and welcome. I'm Anna Barker from thesubtleway.com. So I wanted to share a couple of tools and tricks for you to help with headaches, migraines, neurological issues. Although there can be many underlying causes that can cause obviously the neurological issues, migraines or headaches, what they all share in common is that there's often getting energy stuck in the head, and it's on the energetic level within, it's kind of like that creates this sort of cloudy density field around the head space and moving through different areas. So this shows up differently for different people. But I'm one that really struggled with headaches from my teen years. And so it really helped to open up the space and reduce the tendencies towards headaches overall, because often mine would be caused by tension. And so with whatever the cause, this can help ease the headaches. But it is most helpful when you do it from time to time, when you don't actually have a headache, but there's still a little bit of the stuckness in the head that needs to move. But when the triggers happen for that and a headache or a migraine occurs, there's already those patterns and stuckness there, and that can make it to its extreme. But if we start working with these tools and we can gradually get some of that energy moving that's already there, and so that can begin, and then you might notice that the headaches aren't quite as bad, aren't quite as severe, the migraines don't last as long. So this is just a really simple tool and tip you can use without doing any other form of energy work. So I like to just bring my hands and rub them together, give them a little shake, warm them up. So I find it can be really helpful because often, when there's headaches, we're also getting a lot of tension within the neck and the shoulders. So giving a little rub into that shoulder, just sort of pinch it a little bit, and then coming up through the neck. It feels really nice. It's really good. Maybe you don't have headaches and you want to do this anyway. And then coming up and making your way to the base of the skull. And then when you reach that base, that line, just trying to get in and sort of massaging to kind of create a little bit of separation there. We have a tendency for energy to get really stuck or get really sticky. There is also a trauma response which has us sort of going like this all the time. So rather than being able to extend the neck and gently drop the chin, we tend to sort of lift the chin up, and it's like this defensive mechanism. And so that can create compression in that area. So we want to be able to give ourselves the space and the softness just to be able to gently let the back of the spine lengthen, let the chin tilt forward, and open up a little that area which can get really quite sticky. And then we can move up onto the skull and massaging over. Now, if you can use a lot of pressure here. If you find you're very sensitive, maybe you have issues around fibromyalgia and pain or something like that, you can just go softly, or you may even want to just gently tap. But if you can, use that deep pressure, and then you're searching and rubbing for those points where it's sore. And when you find any tender spots, just focusing on those there. I found one in there. And I don't really have, when I first started using these techniques, I had incredible tenderness all over the side of my head, all sorts of different areas, and now I have to struggle to find those little tender spots. And because they always show up every once in a while, things change, we have different patterns, we have emotional reactions, mental issues. If we're very heady, stuck in our head, lots of thoughts, lots of thinking, this can also get us a little bit top heavy and stuck in this area as well. So this is also useful for that. Useful for when we're having those neurological issues where things aren't really connecting as well as they used to for whatever reason. If you've gone through a bit of a concussion or something that affects your ability to think clearly, this can also actually just be really useful to just help stimulate the movement, because our hands are electromagnetic. Our blood has iron in it. When we're in contact with the body, we're getting movement through different areas. Also, our hands will have the most sort of connected neuro areas in the brain. So we're getting things moving and firing. It's not an inactive thing. There's always so much going on in there. And then once you're going to give rub, we're going to do the crown pull. So bringing the fingertips to in 2 lines in the center of the forehead. And you can take a deep inhale here as you push in. And on the exhale, slide apart, coming all the way over to the temples. It can also run from the temples all the way down the side of the ears and down the side of the neck. Give it a little shake. It might just come from the temples, around the ears and down the side of the neck. We're just sort of help soothing out the nervous system with the triple warmer. Shake that off, and then let's come back to the center of the forehead and just pushing in and just pulling out about 1 inch or so and going and following that center line all the way through. And then you might get to that, when you get to that suture line in the center of the head, seeing if you can really pull it apart. So all we're really trying to do is create space. Energy needs space to flow. When everything gets condenses, when we're traumatized, when we're stressed out, when we're not well, everything condenses, including our energy field. Everything gets constricted. The blood vessels constrict. The meridians constrict. Our energy field constricts. And so we're just wanting to open up and create space. So all of this helps open space. And then just keep going down the neck. And then when you come to the shoulders, just giving a little hang. And then just dragging down the front all the way and off just giving it a little shake. And the last thing I want to do is just give the hands a little rub once more. And so we've got the gallbladder and the bladder meridians running over the top of the head, and they go down the back, down the legs, all the way off to the side of the feet. So this just going to help and send that energy that naturally wants to move from top to bottom. So I want to just pull this stuff out of the head and move it down. So just going to rub the hands. You can do that once more. Going over the top of the head, down the sides, down the side of the neck. I'll just come back so you can see me. And then down over the shoulders. Obviously you can't reach very far. And then once you can, bring your arms up, going down along the back, coming a bit out of the hips, over the glutes, then coming down the sides of the legs on the back, all the way down the sides, and then just off the toes and give it a nice little flick. So you might want to just do that. You could do it a couple of times, you can do it once, you might do it a few times. So just coming again, you might even start from the eyebrows or over the whole front of the face, coming up and over, down the back of the head, down the neck, over the shoulders, reaching in behind, down the back body, down over the hips, the legs, all the way down, sort of the back and side of the leg, and off the toes. And then just giving it a nice little shake out. And you might just want to give the whole body a little shake. Because when we shake the body, we help create movement through the whole body. It's also considered a good way to release stress, get yourself unsettled, increase the circulation. And even sometimes if you feel like it, you can do a little inhale, lift onto the toes, and exhale, just let yourself drop down a few times. And then you can just repeat the whole process over and over again. Or you might decide to just do it once, or if you can do it and again, doing it when you do have those issues showing up, and then trying to do it a little bit sometimes when you remember when they're not there, as a little self-care practice that can help, make things a little bit more easeful and a little bit more pleasant. And I guess for me, it's created a very big shift into having headaches a lot less and much more rarely. All right, thank you so much for watching. If you would like to learn more about me, you can always head to thesubtleway.com. I offer one-on-one personal healing sessions, and I also have a free course on offer, which is the Subtle Energy Reset, which is how to soothe and restore the nervous system. All right, have a beautiful day.